Thursday, April 1st, as Thailand will join the ranks of Southeast Asia's increasingly costly labor markets with a hike at the minimum wage that not everyone is convinced will be in the workers' best interests. The ruling Pheu Thai party is to keep a campaign promise and raise the minimum wage in Bangkok and 5 surrounding provinces plus Phuket Island to a flat 300 baht or about $9.80 or about $295 a month. The new rate, which represents an increase of around 40%, will be applied nationwide next year. Wages are on the rise in China and Southeast Asia, historically the favorite investment destinations for industries relying on cheap labor and where the minimum wage is earned by the majority of workers. In China, during the first 3 months of this year alone, workers' wages rose more than 10%, reaching $230 a month in Shanghai, $240 in Shenzhen, and $200 in Beijing. In Manila, the minimum wage is about $10 per day, and in Jakarta, it is about $169 per month after recent increases. The Vietnamese government in October raised the minimum wage from $66 a month to $94, a 42% jump. In Cambodia and Myanmar, average monthly wages are still low at $66 and $50 respectively. Malaysia has no minimum wage yet, but Prime Minister Najib Razak was expected to announce one soon and maybe on May the 1st. It is likely to be set at between $266 to $300 a month.
The Finance Ministry has raised its 2012 growth forecast and predicted interest rates will rise less than a week after Deputy Prime Minister Kitirat Naranong urged the central bank to ease monetary policy. Gross domestic product is estimated to grow between 5 and 6%, with a midpoint forecast of 5.5%, Somchai Satapong, head of the Fiscal Policy Office, said. The ministry predicts the central bank may raise its policy rate to 3.25% later this year, Somchai said. The latest GDP forecast is based on assumptions that Dubai crude oil prices will average $118 per barrel and about 31 per dollar, Somchai said. In contrast, Kitirat, who is also Thailand's finance minister, said on March 22nd that he would like to see the benchmark one-day bond repurchase rate fall by at least 50 basis points from its current level. He also said the baht would weaken to a range of 32 to 34 a dollar to help the exporters. But Bunchai Tarat Sang Somboon, deputy spokesman of the Fiscal Policy Office, said the central bank may raise the key rate late this year because inflation would accelerate in the second half when economic growth picks up speed. The Bank of Thailand kept its benchmark rate at 3% last week after cutting it twice in recent months to support an economy hurt by the worst floods in almost 70 years.
Now, according to a study by Thailand Development Research Institute, said that companies must increase the productivity of their workers by 8% if they want to survive after the new daily minimum wage of 300 baht is implemented on April the 1st. The study also states that the government should collaborate with the private sector to increase laborers' productivity. TDRI Labor Development Research Director Yingluck Chalam said, without support from the government, the private sector might have to initiate a training program itself to increase productivity. He said companies that cannot adjust their costs and improve laborers' productivity by 8% are likely to face difficulties in operating their businesses. The government's policy to hike the minimum wage to 300 baht will be implemented as planned as for next Sunday in 7 provinces, which are Bangkok, Phuket, Nakhon Prathom, Samut Prakan, Samut Sakhon, Pathum Thani, and Nonthaburi. After the administrative court rejected a private sector petition seeking to block the April wage hike. The wage in other provinces will be increased next year. Yingluck said small and medium-sized enterprises would inevitably be affected by the wage hike. According to the study in 2010, more than 40% of laborers work for enterprises with fewer than 10 workers, and 40% from them receive below standard wages. Once the wages hike is implemented, the unemployment rate will increase. According to him, low productivity workers will move to other sectors such as agriculture and construction. The government must have training programs to improve the skills of these workers.
And moving on to the telecommunication industry, Kunira, as subscribers to the 3G service under CAT Telecom and TrueMove Group, partnership deals should be able to relax at least for the moment. The Information and Communications Technology Ministry Committee has found 5 unusual practices in the way the deals between CAT Telecom and Corp were developed. However, ICT Minister Anudit Nakornthap said both CAT and True Group could continue to do business under the deals. He added that the probe focused on how the deals were made and who got involved, not on the 3G service deals themselves. True issued a release to the press yesterday by saying that it would not comment on the committee's conclusion, but it stressed that the deals were made in full compliance with the law and regulations. It said that the committee's conclusion did not have any impact on the deals and the offering of TrueMove H service. True subsidiary RealMove, which provides the 3G service under the TrueMove H brand, now has around 1 million users. In its final conclusion on the deal's legality, the ICT Ministry's committee found 5 unusual practices in the way the CAT True 3G partnership deals were developed. The committee said it was possible that political interference resulted in CAT's failing to take over Hutchison Telecom's business in Thailand and paved the way for True Group to do so instead.
And now let's update on the Thai Prime Minister trip to Korea, as Prime Minister Yingluck has assured the South Korean businessmen of Thailand's bright economic prospect, citing that the government business-friendly policies, flood management measures, and the cut in corporate tax. Speaking to South Korea's four leading business organizations in Seoul, Yingluck said the Thai economy would expand by 5.5 to 6% this year, supported by strong economic fundamentals despite last year's floods disaster. Meanwhile, the Fiscal Policy Office yesterday revised its economic growth projection for the year to 5.5% from the 5% it had forecast in December. Siam Commercial Bank's Economic Intelligence Center also adjusted its large for growth in gross domestic product to 5.6 to 5.8% from the 4.7% estimated in January. These developments follow the Bank of Thailand's announcement last week of an increase in its 2012 GDP growth target to 5.7%. Yingluck told more than 450 attendees that with its solid fiscal status, Thailand is able to launch policies to promote investment. She said corporate tax rate will be cut to 23% this year and to 20% next year. Meanwhile, the government has set aside $72 billion or about 2.16 trillion baht for mega projects. This includes a high-speed rail route from Bangkok to Chiang Mai and a deep-sea port in Davao, Myanmar, which will improve Thailand's linkage with ASEAN and South Asia. The Prime Minister said she was convinced the projects would strengthen Thailand's position as a hub for ASEAN investment. She invited Korean investors to pour investment into value-added industries such as electronics and electrical appliances, automobiles and machinery, alternative energy, and agricultural processing. They were also urged to invest in research and development activities and software and entertainment businesses.